Berghan. I'm an internationally awarded leadership and communication coach. I work with business owners, managers, and executives throughout the world. I'm here each Tuesday at 10 a.m. Queensland time, Australian Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Sydney or Australian Eastern Daylight Time. I've got a summer cold at the moment. I don't know but I think there are a few of us out there with summer colds in the middle of a heat wave. So I'm going to take a more relaxed approach today. There's a lot going on outside. The wind is starting to blow. It's starting to cool down a bit. So hopefully I'll do okay. It's crazy weather, I know. Really bad weather for many people. Many people have been impacted by it. So if you're one of those people, I hope that things are starting to come good for you and that you can see some way through. Those of you who are getting ready for the cyclone, it's kind of like battle down, bunker down rather. So I'm going ahead today because although I don't feel so well, I made a promise to myself that I was going to do leadershipization every week. And I trust myself to do well. Might there be some coughing? Yeah, maybe. Might it be a bit shorter than normal? Maybe. However, that's okay because I trust myself. Because I trust myself to do an okay job. Trust is one of my key words for 2024, and that's what I'd like to just focus on today. And one of the things that I've done because I trust myself to do this well is just to make some dot points so that I can be sure that I cover all of the things that I had planned to talk to you about. So if I look down, it's because what I'm doing is just checking on that. Look, what I know is that embracing the concept of trust, it goes way beyond our interaction with others. Trust is actually a very personal, a very empowering journey because it starts and finishes with us. Like many things, I talk about leadership and communication from the inside out. It starts and finishes with us. Our leadership starts and finishes with us. Look, most of us think that trust is all about relying on, or it's all about in relation to others, relying on others in committed relationships. Perhaps you've faced the challenge of rebuilding trust after it was broken in a relationship, or maybe you've navigated that kind of delicate process of allowing trust to blossom in someone new. Look, it seems easy. It seems really easy to identify that what trust means in relation to others, but understanding the depth of self-trust, I think, is a much more involved process. What does it truly mean to trust ourselves? Where does that come from? Is it something that we just build up, or is it a huge challenge for us? And why? Why is this self-trust such an important thing? It doesn't kind of factor. Why do I have to have self-trust? The first thing I want to say to you is this: self-trust isn't about demanding perfection. It's not about flawless behavior or flawless decision making. And something that we can all fall victim to is that it's not about having all of the answers. Self-trust is much more about being able to say, I don't have the answer. I don't have the answer. Right? It's acknowledging and being vulnerable. It's about counting on ourselves to navigate any situation, just like I'm doing right now. It's like making the best choices in the given circumstances and with the given information that you've got. For me, self-trust is also about making a commitment to personal growth. I've spoken before about how leadership, self-leadership, it starts with self-leadership. It's a continuous journey. It doesn't stop, because as you grow, different things you become aware of different things. You become aware of more. You become you become interested and curious about other things. Self-trust is also a belief in our own capabilities. If we can't do it now, we don't have the skill to do something right now. However, we may well have the skill or the ability to learn that skill. Self-trust is also just this strong sense of self in terms of, I can weather whatever the storm's going to throw at me. I can weather it. I'm good. Like, we live in a world where change is a constant thing. And so what that requires of us is that we've got to be flexible, we've got to be adaptable. We consistently have to be problem solving, dealing with whatever the issues are. Now, in amongst all of that, this need to be flexible and adaptable, to go with the flow a little bit, but to be able to make quick decisions, to be able to problem solve, to be able to pivot if necessary. As leaders, self-trust becomes an essential tool. Can't do it without it. And the reason is that it gives us a real sense of control. It gives us that sense of control about whatever the circumstances are, and that lifts our confidence. And as leaders and communicators, when our confidence is lifted, that makes life a whole lot easier. You have that confidence in yourself, whatever challenges that you might be faced with. The confidence is there for you. You're doing well. Now, does that mean that you've always got to be in control 100% of your emotions? Simply because you trust yourself? No. Excuse me, no. Trusting yourself includes that you're experiencing that full range of emotions. You're experiencing the joy, the confusion, the grief, the concern, the frustration. Because the glorious thing about trusting ourselves is that it allows us to experience all of those emotions. It allows us to experience them, but still have this concrete faith that, hey, we're good to go here. We know what we're doing. We know that we can do this. It's our ability to cope. Whatever the emotion is, we're still going to process the stuff. We're still going to see what the lessons are. We're still going to be able to recognize the opportunities. We're still going to be able to take action to get things done. We're feeling those emotions because it's important for us to feel the emotions, but we still have our own back through that. What I've found with self-trust is that it comes with an increased self-awareness, and it really is the foundation of your relationship with yourself. And we reflect the amount of self-trust that we have in each other in a number of different ways, and some of those are things like your self-talk. Instead of that voice going, you're not up to this, there's a solid voice that comes through saying, whatever's going on, whatever happens, whatever gets chucked at you, you'll cope. You'll be fine. It comes through in your beliefs, in your perception of the world. It comes through in the language that you use. And think about this. Is it positive or is it negative language? It comes through in your relationships with others. So in all of those areas, and that's just some of the things, your self-talk, your beliefs, your perception of the world, the language that you use, and your relationships with others, are they positive or are they negative? Because if you hesitate to believe in yourself, if you're thinking that you're constantly doubting your own choices, it's definitely time to work on building self-trust. And one of the core components of that self-trust is mental fitness. You've often heard me talking about mental fitness. So where could you start? Where could you start with this self-trust? Well, it's about reflecting on a couple of things. I've got 3 here for you. Excuse me, I just need to take a drink. The first thing to do is to reflect on when and perhaps how often you hand your power over to others, and start to identify how you can take it back. What are you doing? When do you just allow others to walk all over you or to tell you exactly what it is that you need to be doing or how you need to be behaving? Reflect on when you do that. Every time you don't raise an issue that's going on in your workplace, in your team, you're handing your power over. Start to think, when am I doing that? Why do I do that? And how can I take it back? That's the first one. The second one is actively aim to be more authentic. Your true, your genuine self, knowing that you're not for everyone. Not everyone is going to adore you. It's just what happens in life, and that's okay. The important thing is that you acknowledge that you are actually being you, and you trust yourself enough to be you. That's when the vulnerability came in that I was talking about earlier. The third one is to monitor your self-talk. Monitor that self-talk, replacing the negative statements with positive, compassionate conversation. Now, you may have heard this before. I know it's an old saying. It's very much about, try to talk to yourself the way that you would talk to your best friend, with love and compassion. Yeah, you might be giving them a bit of a hard time about something, but underneath it all, it's with love and compassion. Often we don't do that with ourselves. Learning to trust yourself, it will build your self-esteem, and that will flow on to have impact in all areas of your life. Things like your daily experiences, it'll impact the number of opportunities that become available to you. Everything will become much more positive, all because you started to believe in and to trust yourself. All because you started to trust yourself. Can you see why trust is one of my words? Keywords for 2024. Hey, just a reminder, I've already spoken in the last few weeks, and you'll see posts on my LinkedIn and my Facebook page about Deliberate Reset. It's a 10-week, very small, specifically hand-picked group of leaders and communicators who are wanting to make a real difference. Leadership and communication and mental fitness. So we'll go on a 10-week journey, and we're supported by each other in the group. You've got access to me, but to others in the group. Same journey as you're on, from all over the world. Same journey as you're on. And you'll have that WhatsApp group where you can be each other's cheerleaders, but you'll also have the use of an internationally acclaimed app to develop your mental fitness. If you're interested in hearing more, please reach out, and I'll make a time to chat with you. It won't be a hard sales call. It'll be me telling you about Deliberate Reset so that we can get our handpicked group together and get going. This will be my first intake for 2024. Thank you for those who've watched. If you're watching a replay, love it if you'd put hashtag replay underneath. If you've got any questions, either reach out to me in a private message or pop a question below. Thank you. I trusted myself and I got through. My throat feels like it's on fire, but it was really important for me to be here today. Thank you.